Hello everybody, welcome here, or welcome back, whatever the case may be. I have to go this afternoon. There is still one more line apparently that they need my voiceover for, and I am going to go and take care of that today, because they're going on a trip, and this is the last thing that needs to be addressed before they go, so that is what we're doing. In the meantime, I'm just going to throw on some basic face stuff. So I'm going to start with my Rimmel 9-in-1 BB cream. I use the tone medium. This is matte. I think they might come in different versions. I am not sure. So I'm just going to take my sponge. And I don't use a lot. I'm just going to see if I can put this on without doing anything other than using this camera. Probably not a smart idea because I'm looking at something that's like this big on the screen, and that's not really good for seeing detail. Now, I don't really have to put it where my beard is today. I'm going to try and put a little bit down here. I put a little bit on the beard because if I decide to use a little shadow or something on there, it will help it stick. So that is that done. Maybe I will pull this out. I was testing the other day. I was testing one of these pieces that I made, and this is the piece that I made. And I went, oh my God, that is so huge. But it might make a really good sort of like axe wound or something for the head. So gonna play around with that. I'm having so much fun just trying to make little components. Even though they don't turn out very well, the process is kind of fun to do and experiment with. But it also tends to waste a lot of the liquid latex playing around with things like that when you have no idea what you're doing. So it might behoove me to get a little bit more knowledge before I waste more product. Because I really wasn't trying to make them that big. I was trying to make little tiny things, but for some reason, when I put it in there and start moving it around, it actually makes something a lot bigger than I was anticipating. Now, I'm gonna take my Epic liner. Actually, no, I'm gonna do something else first. I'm gonna take my eyebrows, right? My little eyebrow stamps, and this product here. Now, this is Boobine Stamp Eyebrow Powder in a 1 light brown. That's what I am using. And it's cute because it comes with the little mirror and things too. Now, which one is this going to be? Yes, because I tried this the other day, but I didn't record it, so I'm going to do it this time. Where I'm going to start by stamping here along the lash line and then out. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay, get that in there and out. And then that gives me sort of a form on either side. While I have this out, I'm going to try opening it from the right side. That is always helpful. Now I'm going to take this. This product is actually really good. I like how it works. I'm going to take this and I'm just going to stamp that here. Now that could be a little bit high. Now can I take that off? Let's see if I can take that off and redo it. So this is just a little water. actually stays pretty good on there. So I might need to just kind of take this and see if there's enough product on there just to sort of blend that in. I'm sure there is. Okay, let me try that again. Okay, get some product on here. Make sure the product's on there. I hope that's on there. Okay, and I'm gonna make sure I have that low enough. There we go. That's much better. And then I'm gonna take the other one, which is literally the same thing, but reversed. And I'm just gonna put that in the same spot on the other side. Hopefully the same spot on the other side. And these fit right nicely up into here, but they don't stay very secure. So what I do is I have this elastic that I take down and I twist and I bring up over this side. And then that keeps the lid on. Now, what I was doing with these, I'm gonna take the brush and then I just softly, and I hold the brush down to the end so it's very, very soft. And I just do little circles in here, right? And that just kind of takes this spot and sort of blends it a little, right? So I'm doing the same thing on this side. Because that was just like a little bit of a stenciling. And the nice thing is it automatically matches my eyebrows, the tones, right? So that is the basis of this. I can just go across here and a little bit down there. It's wherever the stamp sort of hits. Seems to work for just starting a bit of a shape, right? And one could just keep that soft, and that's pretty much all you would need to do if you wanted to do something like that. I am going to take my Revolution Reloaded Basic Mats, which I'm going to need to replace, but it's about $50. But I've had this for a few years, and as you can see, I use virtually all of them. Now I'm going to take this light color right over here, and that's going to be my starting thing. And I'm just going to do my little circles right on the outside. Now that is slightly darker than the brown of the stencil, that powder for the eyebrow powder. Even though it looks very dark, it depends on where and how it is used and how much you stamp on. Now, this is just such an easy thing to do. And I just work on the outside corner till it is kind of the way I want it to be. Right? Like that. I go back to the bigger brush again, and I'm just going to soften along here. Just a little. Just like that. Right? Not a whole lot. And then I go back, take the same brush that I had, and I'm going to go in with something darker. Now, I can pick whatever kind of tones I like. I think I'm going to take this one down over here, which looked very different to me on the camera than when I'm looking at it this way. Right? Okay, I guess that shows a little better. So this has a bit of a reddish brown to it. And again, I'm just going in here. And because I'm taking something slightly darker than what I had, I don't want it to go up as far, so I'm kind of keeping it more just on the outside corners. That is what I'm doing. Okay. So that kind of is that. And then I go back with the same bigger brush here. And again, I'm just kind of softening the outermost edges of what I just put on to blend with the rest of it. So again, there we go. See, it's much more subtle than my usual bold makeup, but at the same time, this is still pretty bold. Now, one last packing brush. Let's see, is this what I want? Yes. And I'm going to take, I think, this one. Yep. Okay, fine. I went with this one. And I'm just going to pack that on the corner. Just like that. And again, back to the fluffier brush. And I'm just going to keep that right in here. Just softly sort of blending that. Now there is one other thing. There's that dark there, which I think I'll just use that same brush there. So we're going to take this dark, and I'm just going to put it right there. Just by the lash on that outer part. And again, back to the fluffy brush. Not my ultimate fluffy brush, but it's a fluffy brush. And I'm just going to do that just to create a little shadow. And now I'm going to take my NYX Epic liner and I'm just going to do out here. Not just that little bit on the outside. And I don't go straight out. I take it just a little bit up from the last little bit of lashes up here, because otherwise it will make my eyes droop down this way, and I don't want that. I want things to be more like this. And so I'm just going to go and do the inner part there on both sides. Right, so there we go. Now I could take, well, I think I will. I'm going to take this right here, just on the outside part. Now maybe just a little bit over her. But really I only want it about on the outer third part of the bottom part of my lower lash line. And then I'm going back where I had the black on here. And that sort of helps set that. Just smokes it just a little bit. Right? And then just put that where this is, to sort of help it set a little bit. And then just sort of also blends it in a little bit with the rest of the makeup, and it's not quite so harsh. That is all I need to do for that. It's just much more subtle, and this way I don't even have to put anything light in here if I don't want to. Now I'm going back with my basic mattes, and I'm taking a tiny little brush that I use light things on, and I think I'm gonna go with this one here. for the underneath the brow bone color. Because it's light, but it's not as light as the other, and that will be fine. I used to do this like with white, but that's good if you're doing something on stage and you're really trying to make some drama. But when you're just doing an everyday and you want things to be more subtle, which has never been my strong suit, I find that this is much better. And then whatever's on here, I'm just going to use in this area. Just as the light color in here. And that way I'm not doing white, I'm not doing anything that's stark, I'm doing things that all are designed to blend together without having to really think about it, which is nice. It's not always something I want to do, is have to think about things. Now, where is my... Okay, so I'm going to use my lift and snatch just to go over... Okay, pull the wrinkles out. Because the color that I'm using in the lift and snatch is just a light brown, and it is very subtle to begin with. But I do find that once I have the stamp on, I can refine this, add some individual hairs. I could make a much sharper line if I really wanted to. It just gives you a little bit of freedom to play around, to decide, do I want like really crisp looking eyebrows? Do I want hairy looking eyebrows? And sometimes I will use this over the eyebrow tattoos that I have, because sometimes like they're shiny and you know, you can add a little bit of extra dimension with these NYX lift and snatch brow markers are so good. I don't know what else you call them. Lift and snatch is what they call themselves. And it's NYX or NYX. I always just say NYX. I don't know how much I really want to play around with these. I mean, I'm not doing anything so exciting today, but on days where it's, you know, gray, cloudy, any kind of little bit of perking up is always enjoyable. It makes me feel better, psychologically, emotionally, whatever the case may be. Now, I'm going to take the same little sort of brush I had that has a little brown, and I'm just going to put a little bit there, and a little bit there. Here, go down here. Okay. I just want to soften that a little bit. Okay. Now, I have to pull out one of my makeup kits. I do like this makeup kit though. And in that I have this old thing that has all kinds of shadows and stuff under there, but I don't use them because they're like, well, all of this is really old. But I find this is still nice. I don't like this because it irritates my eyes. And I think it has something to do with the fact that it's old. I've tried sanitizing it just in case there's I don't know, like bacteria or something. I did all that before I started using it, and it was fine initially. I keep trying to sanitize it. It's not helping. So I think I'm going to take this color right here, which is sort of more like a bronzer, and I'm just going to put that in here. Do the same thing on this side. Let's see. Taking this little bit of lighter here, just kind of putting it above that, see if I can make those blend a little more together and not look like a wedgy stripe of some kind. I don't know if that makes a difference or not, but we will find out. And then I'm going to go in with this, which is much more of the contour tone right in here. And I'm just going to try and put that down in here. I'm just going to try and blend that a little bit more into beard area. Okay, I am going to take my concealer this way. So I'm trying to keep the light where I want it underneath here and on my upper cheek area. That is the goal I am attempting. So that's kind of where we're at here. And I don't want powder today. I just think that's going to be too chalky. But I wonder if I put my Superfix over top. And because of my lines and wrinkles and everything, I don't use a lot of things that aren't matte. Things with a dewy finish tend to really reveal the the lines and wrinkles more. But then I also know that if I take powder on, that is also going to be terrible for my lines and wrinkles. But I find that's not too bad if I just little setting spray instead of powder to fix this on, because it's not like heavy grease paint or anything that I feel I really have to powder. But there we go. That's the basic of that. Now I'm just going to put on a little bit of blush. Now these are my liquid blush options, and I think I'm gonna go with this bright one today, and we will see what that is like. So there we go. It's just, see the hint of a blushy color? Seems to work very well. It's hard because, you know, when you put it on, it tends to form those dots, and those dots tend to want to stay there. But that's it. I'm not doing anything a whole lot crazy today. Maybe, yeah, maybe I'll put on some glitter because, you know, it's me. It's me. So I'm going to take out this and all of my glitter options. So what glitter do I want to wear today? Blue. Do I want to do blue? I think maybe I do. Why not? So, my glitter application brush. Take this. Oh, you'll be able to hear Denny breathing while I put this on. And I'm just going to put this along my lash line here and here. Now this already has some glitter in it, which you may see it's just a little bit of silver glitter. There's hardly anything there. So I go in with this. Try to get it on there where it's tacky. And there we go. That's on there now. It's nice because it really doesn't take very much to get some drama. I am going to try and get this loose glitter off my face. Here's the problem with loose glitter. You have to not care that you're going to have glitter all over you and everywhere you go and everyone you know and all of those things. None of that can matter to you. So there we go. I hope everybody has a wonderful day, and until the next time, as always, take care of yourselves and each other.